What is up, guys? And today we have a review, or should I say, welcome back, guys. And today we have a review of a Core Classics model. This has been a Core Classic for a very long time, and for good reason. This model has really stood the test of time for quite some time. It's the Caterpillar 140H Motor Grader. Now, it's not the most detailed in the world. It's not the most best functioning in the world. However, it does have one major thing going for it which is why I would choose this over the 14M, 140M, and stuff like that, the other Northcott graders. Now, I can't really make a judgment on which one I like more in the terms of the new Diecast Masters graders or this one, but in terms of the Northcotts, the ones I just listed and all that, I would definitely choose this one, and because it has one thing going for it, and I'll dive into that. But anyways, we're going to start up here at the front. You got nice turning front wheels, very nice angle on the turning, and they also have some suspension to them. They oscillate, and it actually does hold the post quite well. And then you got the tie down point at the front, and it has a very nice front shot. And then there you can see the Caterpillar logo on the plexiglass. So anyways, now as for the blade slash moldboard, what the technical term is moldboard. That's as far up as it raises, which, isn't best. It doesn't, the blade or the mold board itself does not slide either way like we've seen, but it does swivel full 360 if you get it positioned just right, as you can see. And that's the furthest down it will go, and if you get it right, it will just barely lift the front wheels off the ground. And like I said, there's as far as it will go up. However, that's the one thing I like about this one, though. It doesn't have the functionality, like I said. However, it does have one thing going for it, and I'll get into that. Anyways, you got some hydraulic line detail here that sort of just fades off into the actual body. You can tell this is a Diecast Masters because it has Billy in the cab, the ever so annoying Billy. And then getting to the back again, you got more steering here, which you can achieve a very tight angle of steering, which is great. Or you could crab walk it if you wanted to. It is possible. Anyways, over here we have the Cat Power Stripe, and I'm so glad that Diecast Masters brought this logo back, because for some time the Northcott one had the Power Edge logo, which looked absolutely terrible. Then you got the exhaust and your air cleaner, and then, very nice rich cat yellow to this model. The back wheels, they do sort of oscillate, but not much. But they do roll very nicely, and they do have good hub details. Going around to the back, you have a ripper. This is a 5-shank ripper with 6 spare shanks up top. And the ripper does go down, and it will just barely lift the back wheels up off the ground. While we have the ripper down, you can see the rear lights, Caterpillar, and the grille, which is painted black. It is part of the casting, and it is metal. And there you can see the back of the cab. And over here is virtually the same. Very nice model. There you can see the step up into the cab. Both sides had that. And as you can see, there's some nice suspension here. So, yes. So, and also I've noticed on the front that it is missing the control panel, the joystick controls, which would be right here. Just has a steering wheel. So I talked about how this model has one thing going for it over the older models, in my honest opinion, and that's simplicity. This model, here's the thing. This model is very simple. It has good detail. Oh, and I forgot to mention one thing. It does the circle assembly does have a cylinder that does allow it to go side to side a little bit. But the one thing that this model has going for it in the long run is simplicity. And that is, in my opinion, a good thing for a grader. I think that Northcott got so lost in details and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, detail is great. However, that seemed to be the flaw with the M series graders that they produced. Yes, it had good details and all that sort of stuff. However, in the long run, it sort of turned me away, because I bought the 14M, and I liked it at first, but then as time went on, I realized that yes, it's got great details and everything, but it's sacrificing so much. And yes, it was an improvement over this model. However, this model just seems to be very simplistic. Um, and that's a good thing. Simplicity is very good at times, and with greater models, that's shown. Um, I mean, I've had a lot of issues with the 14M, and this model just has been great. I had one before, and it was the weathered edition, thanks to an old friend of mine, Volvo Loader Zach. I forget which one was his YouTube name. He no longer really does it, but you'll see him around every so often. It's just that this model has a lot of simplicity to it, and I'm glad that they're still producing it, even though the actual grader itself has been long discontinued. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this model a 7. However, I mean, in terms of models we see today, but for models of its time, I'd say this would be a good solid 9 out of 10. Now, I say models of its time because this was originally produced by Norscott in the early 2000s. In today's terms, it would be a 7, but realistically, it'd probably be an 8 or a 9. Because it's just simple, it's a very nice model, the details are good for the time, and I would highly recommend buying this model if you want a nice, simple grader. And honestly, you still see a lot of the H-Series still in work, so it's not like it's that far out of date. But anyways, guys, that's it for this review. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next review.